I know I recently filmed a skincare routine video, but I have been having a lot of problems with my skin recently, especially because it's winter and I'm always in places that are really dry because in Korea they just blast the heater. So I decided I need to switch up my skincare routine a little bit to be a little more moisturizing. So this first thing is the Estura Auto Barrier 365, the cream mist. This was actually used in the video I filmed with Eddie. I went into Olive Young to look for it and just try it again just to see if I liked it. And when I tried the sample, it was really moisturizing. It did a really good job of locking in any moisture that was on my skin. So I'm just gonna be testing this for a while. So I usually put this first after I wash my face. Okay, now I'm just gonna go about my regular skincare stuff that you can find in my other video. Recently, is this recently? I don't even think this is recently. I was talking to my friend about, for context, this friend is very outgoing and they just get along with everyone. They can be put into any situation and they just thrive socially. And that's something I've always really struggled with because I get really insecure and I start thinking all of these intrusive thoughts like, oh, what if they think I'm beneath them because of XYZ? And mainly in the past that was because of my confidence issues with my looks, and still to a certain point that happens sometimes, especially when I meet new people. But more recently, I think I get more self-conscious about being awkward, especially with people I meet for the first time. And I'm just like, oh, like, what if they think I'm really awkward? But then that actually causes me to be more awkward. So that's very counterproductive. Now I'm gonna go in with this Tarba Burst Spray Serum. This was also in the video I filmed with Eddie. I honestly have some trauma with things that you have to spray because when I was little, I stumbled upon my mom's or my sister's perfume bottle and I was like, oh, what's this? And I accidentally sprayed it into my eye. And ever since then, I'm very careful when spraying things or holding anything that is sprayable. Like I always double check where the spray nozzle is. Anyway, going back to my story, they always get what they want because they're so confident in themselves and they kind of just manifest all of their goals. The thing is, when they tell me to do the same, things that are really out of my reach, and they just say, oh, just manifest it. Sometimes I'm very taken aback because if something is easy or attainable for one person, that doesn't mean it's also easy and attainable for another person. What am I doing next? Also, I think I have to change out of my hoodie because it's really hard to apply stuff on my neck. What was I talking about? This is why I write everything down, because I can just look at a list and do it in order. Okay, I'm gonna go change real quick. Hold on. Now I need to redo this clip. Aish, 정말. I'm actually going to be trying a few of Eddie's products today as well. Eddie gifted this to me a few months back, but I actually never got the chance to use them because I forgot about them. But first is the Cielo Cream Dream Skin Fluid. This is Eddie's product, like from his own company. Honestly, I don't know if I'm supposed to be using it in this order, but it seems like it makes sense. Love the design of the product. Let's see how this bad boy tests. This is not sponsored, by the way. I will be giving you an honest review of this product. It's not viscous, it's very liquidy. The scent is really nice, but it's also not too strong. I think in one of his videos he said it was some kind of fruit that is similar to a grapefruit, but it's not a grapefruit. I think I should have put this on before the essence. Remember, if you're kind of confused about what order to put your products, then best rule of thumb is it should be in order of how liquidy they are. So the most liquidy to the least And that's why usually people put on toner first. Also, you need to balance your skin before you put everything, but toner is usually the most liquidy. I really like this product though. But we'll see how my skin reacts to this throughout the next few months. My skin feels nice and moist now. Wow, I literally gave all of that context for the story and I just said a whole different set of things. But the moral of the story is that there's no one right way to express your confidence or to learn how to attain confidence for yourself, because everybody's personality is already starts off so different. And so I think because of that, when my friend was just saying, oh, just manifest it, just do it, for them it's really easy and that's their method. They just do it, and also it just comes naturally to them. For people like me, it doesn't come as naturally. It's something I have to learn. Don't be discouraged if you're not a naturally confident person, and don't give up, because that is always a learning process. You need to find your own little tricks to build that confidence in a way that matches your personality and your style. I mean, take advice from friends, and it's okay to look up to maybe some social figures or celebrities, but really take their words with a grain of salt, but also see if you can tweak what they say to really fit what's best for you. One other thing that's been on my mind recently is something that's made me really reevaluate the way I do things, and that is setting deadlines for myself. Deadlines will always be a thing in our lives no matter what. Sometimes we set them and sometimes they're set for us. As a capitalistic society, when we have to set deadlines for ourselves, I feel like we feel very rushed and we stress out about it, and that in turn turns into this really bad spiral of being really productive and then being really unproductive. That is basically just procrastination. Another effect of deadlines is on your mood. What I mean by that is, for example, one big source of deadlines in my life is vlogs, because I try to post weekly, so that means I need to plan, film, and edit videos on a consistent basis. Because of that, I think I put a lot of pressure on myself, and also when certain expectations or timelines or milestones aren't met, it really affects my mood and I get frustrated. For example, let's say one day something at my normal job comes up and I have to stay a little bit later than usual to do work. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I need to get home as soon as possible so that I can go edit. Then I get really frustrated with work because it's taking away from my editing time. Even things like, oh, my food order is late, now I have to wait at this place longer, and that's killing more of my editing time. A lot of things like that really build up and affect my mood lately. It just really stresses me out, but I don't like that. And some of you might say,
well, why don't you just quit vlogging?
That's kind of non-negotiable. Vlogging is something that is really important to me. But I think the solution is just learning how to create more effective deadlines and being more realistic rather than idealistic. Like, ideally you want to finish XYZ by this, but you should be realistic and kind of factor in some wiggle room so that you're not constantly disappointed when things don't go as planned, because not everything is gonna go as planned in life. So I think I just need to be a little more lenient with the way I set my deadlines for myself, not just for vlogging, but in other aspects of my life too. But sometimes maybe that means I need to start doing things more in advance, or sometimes maybe I really do just need to let go and say, oh, ideally I want to post by this time and this day, but maybe I do have to push it back a little, or I can sacrifice the quality of the way I do things if I want to keep that time frame. But I shouldn't let these things affect my overall mood, because then that's when it becomes very, very unhealthy. I've also thought about, well, maybe I should just not have a consistent deadline. But for me personally, I think when that happens, I try to make things way too perfect, but in order to do that I need more and more time, and then that'll just take forever and there'll never be a perfect video. So I think setting deadlines is a way for me to kind of balance quality but also stopping myself from taking forever to make a video. I was talking to another friend recently who's moving back home. They're also a teacher here. Recently, they went on a trip to another Asian country, and after that trip, they realized they wanted to go home. And I asked them, what about that trip made you change your mind? Because before that trip, they seemed like they wanted to stay here a little bit longer. Korea is very convenient, fun, and comfortable, but they talked about how they came here during COVID and they put their life on pause to come here and take a break. Now they realize it's time to go back because things are starting up again, and that really got me thinking. Because of the pandemic, I feel like a lot of us really did press pause on our life pre-pandemic. Everything has just felt like a really huge fever dream. Sometimes I don't even believe that I'm here because I started a new chapter in my life. I need to learn how to kind of go back to reality. I don't know, because life was so different. Not even all of the mask wearing and the COVID related things. I was a completely different person. And now I either have to sink into this new reality that I still feel like is a dream, or I have to revert back to my old self. But that also feels weird because I know so many new things and I'm different. So just another existential crisis. But that also begs the question, do I want to create my reality in Korea, or do I want to do that back in America? Is anyone else feeling this too? Like, still can't really escape that COVID fever dream bubble? That got really deep very fast. Anyway, next I have this lip mask from Cielo. Eddie always talks about this on his channel, and I'm really excited to try it because a lot of the people he uses it on, they also say really good things about it. Looks so luxury. Cloud9 lip refining mask. Oh, I thought this was like, you know how some products they have a top and you just remove it and then the product is under that? I accidentally scratched into part of it. Whoops. Very interesting. Oh, I don't know how to describe it. It's like Vaseline, but not as thick. Oh, well, yeah, I think I used too much. I think in general, Cielo's products so far, judging off these two things, they just soak in really quickly. I feel like a lot of the times, if something is too thick, it takes too long to absorb into your skin. And then because of that, it just gets washed off by your daily activities. And then it's just kind of a waste of product at that point. Another just random thing, thank you guys so much for all of your comments, whether it's just something encouraging or something that really talks about the topic of the video I post. I've really been feeling a little bit lonely lately because, well, first of all, Ray and Allison aren't here, but also I've been trying not to go out that much because I'm trying to save money. And anytime you go out, I feel like you need to spend money to do something. I really appreciate how invested you guys are in the comments, and it gets me very invested too. And I feel like we're having an actual discussion. The friends who I do have those similar interests with, we don't talk that much anymore because we're just so far apart distance-wise. So it's very rare for me to have anyone to talk about those things with. So it's been really nice just conversing with you guys in the comments. I feel like that did nothing. Whatever. I am in a rush, so I need to zoot. I guess this is kind of a TMI, but I realized I really have to go to the bathroom more often than I used to. And I don't know if there's some kind of underlying health issue, but I think it could also be because I'm so used to going to the bathroom even when I really don't need to, because I always tell myself later I can't go, but what if I do need to go? So I'll just empty out everything now so that I don't get caught at a bad time having to go to the bathroom. But I think because of that, I've trained myself to go at a time I really don't need to, and then my body gets used to that, so it goes more frequently. And I even wake up at night to use the bathroom. Life goes on, you know? Wise words by BTS. But I probably should go to a doctor. I haven't really had a comprehensive medical checkup in a while. Last time was when I first got here, which was almost 2 years ago. And if I've learned anything over the pandemic and K-dramas, it's that you never know when you're about to get some random disease, which is so scary to me. I think I should be a little more serious about how I do makeup, or just anything in general. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about the book Atomic Habits. One of the things that always gets talked about on social media about this book is doing 1% better at something every day, and eventually that 1% piles up. And I think I need to be more intentional with doing that with just everything I do, because I really am afraid of complacency, because that complacency is what led me to regret a lot of things. But then also, in order to not be complacent, you have to be uncomfortable, which is something else that really scares me and I don't like doing. But I think in times like that, you just have to remind yourself it's better to just do it and then regret not doing it. I see that a lot on this channel. Once you do get used to it, or you've done it once, then it's easier to do it because you tell yourself, I've been uncomfortable before, so I can do it again. Even if you're trying something new, the concept of doing something that you've been uncomfortable with still stays the same, you know? So at least try it once, and then after that one time, it'll get a lot easier, trust me. I really should clean these brushes and stuff, because I haven't cleaned it once ever since I got them from Nettie. Maybe that's why I'm breaking out. Also, just going back to talking about Boys Planet, I'm actually really surprised because every time or every season, I feel like the trainees just get more and more talented and they get younger. Like there's literally a 16-year-old who's popping off and I'm 24 and just struggling. Like, what was I doing at 16? I was probably still picking my nose. I was in a classroom. I was procrastinating on studying for a 5-question quiz. And these 16-year-olds out here just on a whole variety show being watched by hundreds if not thousands of people. Yeah, I could never. But honestly, it's pretty inspiring. I saw that one of the contestants was born in 92, so that means they're like 20, 29, and that really got my hopes up, and I'm low-key rooting for them because if they debut, that means that people who are older than 22 have a chance now, and that just opens so many new doors and breaks so many glass ceilings. And you know, let's say there's another Mnet survival show 2 or 3 years, then I would be 26, 27, and maybe I will audition for that again. But that's got me thinking, like, do I need to start preparing now? Like, should I take this more seriously? And life really is just a gamble, because if I shift my focus to just training myself just for that slim chance, then I'm using so much time and resources that are taking away from other potential opportunities, like investing it into YouTube. So I really just gotta think, like, is this something I really, really want to do above all else? So we'll see where that goes. I think that is good. I'm just gonna take this out and, oh, maybe I left it in there for too long. Put in my hair oil. Also, I started rewatching Haikyuu, which is an anime about volleyball. I used to be really into it at the beginning of the pandemic when we all thought this thing would last like a month and then we could all go back to school. But I stopped after season 3 because I wanted to have everything get released and then binge it all at once. But then I somehow never got the chance to really finish it. But now I'm just watching it from the beginning again, and I forgot just how emotional it made me. It's just very inspiring, and the way they present each character and their stories, it's just so well done. Like, yes, they do focus on the main character, but the way they get you interested in all of the side characters and what their stories are, you just get so attached to the show overall, and it really just makes you want to play volleyball or be in a team sport, or it might just inspire you to just pick up some other hobby. I highly recommend it even if you don't like volleyball or anime, because this show is a lot more than that. It's very healing. But yeah, I'm also open to other recommendations because once I finish Haikyuu, I will have nothing to watch. I'm still waiting for season 2 of The Glory. But I gotta wait another month for that. So